Bruce Nauman is the American artist, and his work is quite conceptual work. The one of his interesting for me, he worked in the different mediums. Many times that I have a chance to see his work. One is the video corridors that when you walk into the narrow panels and you walk into and you can see yourself on the monitor. And when you start to get into the work, you can see yourself quite big on the monitor, and when you walk close to the monitor, yourself is feel a bit like smaller. And when you walk out, your body on the monitor is turned to be big again. And also for the green light corridors, when you get into the space and very narrow, and the distance of the space and also the perception in there when you get in the green light is very tense, and you feel very tense in some house. And I think the sense of when you get into the Bush work is feel like the sense of the perception more than what you can see in the work. On 1984, I have a chance to meet him at the school. By that time, I be a student, and he come to studio visit, and also he come to give a lecture. During the lecture and also after I met him and talk with him, I feel very sense about him. He's very kind person. And when he come to visit my studio, and I feel like to show some of my work. By that time, I feel like how I gonna make Bruce Nauman smile or laughing when he saw my work. And when I show my work to him, I sense and I saw him smile, and at the end he laughing, because by that piece I quite experiment to the work. I think about how I can exist and how I can produce the work that the audience not only see, but I need the audience to participate and to be a part of the work. And when he saw that piece, he reading the backside of the canvas and turn outside that the collage of the painting is like a masterpiece painting, and he also laughing because somehow. But anyways, for talking about his piece, I quite interesting another sense of his work in terms of many of his work, mostly for the installation and also the corridor projects. I feel like he tried to turn the spectacle to be the performers. Also like the piece of the body picture that we can see during the exhibition that we have shown on the pink poster, as we gonna talking about. Many of his work that I used to see that made me feel something like interact it between the work and the audience. Not only the audience can see, but the audience can have experience for the perceive or perception when they get into the work. Something like the corridor project, as the video corridor, the green light corridor. Many times when you get into his piece, it feels like the audience turn to be the spectacle, turn to be the performer and the perform itself in his work. And that make a chance to the audience to have a sense of the perception, no matter what it is, like a video image, the sense of the distance and also the sense of the light when the eye get used to in the light, and when you get into the room, it's very narrow. Somehow it's the feeling different when you walk into deep and deep and deep. The sense of the perception is very strange. That is the one that is quite interesting for me for his work. If we looking back to the work that I did in Los Angeles 1984, it's called Not My Performance in 72 Steps. I feel a bit coincident to the body picture in the sense of the spectacle turned to be the performance. Because of that piece, I produced the white loom and the audience have to read the text in front of the room that I wrote. The audience have to step on the left step into the red dot and also the right step on the blue dot. And the audience have to walk on the walls. And both of their hands have to touch the wall at all times. In this kind of sense to change the audience turn to be the performance. And also when you get into the rooms, in this piece I quite interesting to the idea of to use the psychology effect and physical effects that happen to the audience by themselves. And I need the audience have a chance to participate to the work. And when we looking back to this piece, as I say, it seemed to coincide with the body picture by Bruce Nauman, because for the piece of body picture is he did in the mid of the 70s. This piece I never see his work before, and by this piece for the space, I quite influenced from the work of the James Storrells by those time. The one that I developed the piece called yellow painting, and I make the yellow painting and all the painting for myself. I don't want the audience just only see the painting, but I just want the audience turn to be the performance by using themselves to walk and touch the painting all the time. I think the influence that I got the idea for the project of the corridor, the video corridor, that he used the camera and the monitor, that I add into the installation. And the audience, when they walk on the yellow panels, and he can see themselves on the monitor. At the beginning, their body on the monitor is quite big and large. And when they walk close to the monitor, they can see themselves smaller. And this kind of sense, I need to use the sense of the perception by not only to touching the painting, but the sense of the sensation of the distance. Because when we talking about the painting, most of the time we have the distance when the audience have to have a distance between audience and the painting. But in this time when I talking about the sense of the painting and the audience have to come close to the painting, the distance is totally different because they cannot see the image on the painting because the painting is kind of colorful of the yellow. But the sense of the distance turn to be the sense of they can see themselves on the monitor, the same as the video corridor that I get the influence from the Bruce Nauman.